We're Arsenal forever. We are Arsenal.
Road to Wembley.
We love Arsenal.
Oh yes,
We are Arsenal.
can't stop us.
We're Arsenal forever. Zoe Adams, Ray Parlour.
Hello, welcome
What's good?
to What's Going On, Gums. Welcome to
I'm good. I'm
GunnerKing's
good. I'm
Court.
good.
It's good to have you on. We
Thank
are
you. Thank
gonna
you.
be
Appreciate the invite.
no worries, no worries. But yeah, today we're going to be discussing some of the news that is going around surrounding people coming in and out of Arsenal. So yeah, stay tuned. Everyone, please hit the like and subscribe buttons so that we can push the content out. But yeah, Gums, we'll go through the transfers. The first one, which you know, I think we should be quite happy about.
Yeah,
William,
it's a great picture you got there of him.
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just happy that we're doing things a bit different. So it looks like done are the days of bringing a player in. He's not successful, and we keep hold of him. It's just refreshing to see. Yeah, he didn't live up to expectations. I could see what the signing was. It didn't work out. Off you go. Like, not, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, it didn't work out. It's time to, do you know what I mean? Off you go. If we grab 2.5, 3, 4 mil for him, bonus. Yeah, like, wish him well. It just didn't work out. And nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? At least we addressed it early. We didn't try and hold on for another season. And then, you know what I mean? He's on astronomical wages. He now doesn't want to leave because he's getting paid too well at Arsenal. So, yeah, it's refreshing to see actually not good business, but sensible business. Do you know what I mean? No attachment, no.
I get.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, I guess you can see them kind of putting a wrong to a right. You know, I think it doesn't always work out. And yeah, I mean, it's looking like he's out in America at the moment, putting the finishing touches on to a deal out there. So yeah, I mean, I pretty much echo what you're saying. You know, I think given the situation, you know, what he was expected to come in to do, didn't really deliver. We move on at the end of the day, you know, like, for all parties, it works out. Wish him all the best in the US. But yeah, you're right. I think, you know, even though we haven't seen any signings just yet, at least what we're seeing is they are kind of getting rid of the people that they need to, and that they're doing that quite early. So yeah, maybe they want to assess the situation once they've cleared out like a certain amount. And yeah, let's see what they go for. You know, I think
definitely.
But yeah, on that note, we have been linked today with Locatelli of Swansea, Italy midfielder. Yes. I like the look of this guy, man.
Good player, man. Good player.
What are your thoughts?
So for me, I feel what's happening here, I don't think we're going to sign anyone for the Euros, especially this position. No. I feel we are sounding out a couple of players. So I think Neves, as much as we thought that was close, I don't actually think that's anywhere near being near completion. So I think we've probably gone to Bazuma, seen what the price is. We've then gone to Wolves, seen what the price is. We're probably looking at him, see what the price is, and see if there's any other gems in the Euros. I know it's a risk doing it because if someone has a really good tournament, it could put another 5-10 mil on. But at the same time, I think we're going to be patient. I think they're going to assess everything. And again, in the market, if Brighton know we're in for Basuma, they might say 40, 45 million because we're desperate. If we've now got other options to say, you're not holding this to ransom, 30 million, take it or leave it, or we move on to the next target, I think we're playing a bit of poker. I think we know who we really want, but again, when you get linked to other players, it might make Brighton think, oh, we need to cash in take the 30 million or take the 35. We can't hold that for 40. So I think a bit of poker's being played, but I also think they're just looking. I don't think they're going to rush into anything. I think we're just going to be patient. And with Locatelli, he looks a player. He really does, but I think he hasn't really played a high level. He's played obviously Serie A, but he hasn't really played in Europe or high level international. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on in this tournament, to be fair. So I will be watching him closely.
Yeah, I think this is the time to watch him really. The tournament. I think you're right. The Serie A, it'd be a big step up to come to the Premier League, but he looks like he's got quality.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to see that they're at least assessing a few options, looking to drill down on the best one, or I still think two, more than likely. But yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't be too saddened if I saw him coming. The quick question, this response to Jason's question here, Williams' contract, I'm not sure.
No, so when he signed, it was a 3-year contract, weren't it? When he signed for Arsenal, that's why he joined Arsenal, because we offered 3 years, everyone else offered 2. So he's got 2 more left. I reckon it would either be Inter Miami pay a couple of mil for him, or we might just agree to terminate the contract and let him go on a free. Either way, I'm not really too fussed. If he can get a couple of mil, then we haven't lost anything over the season he's been here. His wages probably amount to 2 million throughout the year or whatever. So yeah, it is what it is. I think we might make a couple of mil on him, but if they just release the contract to let him go, so be it. Like, it is what it is, isn't it? So didn't cost us anything, and he's gone for nothing. We haven't made or lost anything. Not a biggie.
Yeah, that's it at the end of the day. And I think Martinelli's now. We got ESR, Saka, Pepe. I suspect we'll bring one more that can play in the number 10 role. And then I think those are good options.
Yeah.
What we've got there. So just reading out Jem's comment here. If my memory is correct, Liverpool were in a situation where it was rumoured we were Kylian or Jota. Superb decision made by Klopp. Yeah, I mean, we won't dwell on that too much on this show, but yeah, no, it was definitely to be done, to be honest. One touch, what's good? Yeah, whatever it is, get him out. I think, we just draw a line under this one and we go again. And I mean, on that note as well, that might time next subject. I think, business, man, it's just questionable. And I saw this earlier, and I think this really drums it home.
Yeah.
30 first team signing, and only 2 we've made a profit on. Giroud and Chamberlain. The rest we sold at a loss. So I'm, at the end of the day, it's good to see us cutting our losses with the players at the moment that we're getting out, but that doesn't read too well, does it?
Yeah. So I was having a discussion with a friend yesterday who was going mad about Xhaka leaving for 15 million, and I understand it. You would hope we could get a bit more for Granit, but it is what it is. But this is where I will side with Edu, and I feel Arteta's done better as well than previous regimes. We've brought the age of the squad down. So regardless if he costs 7 or 20, we've brought the average age down. That means there's going to be a sell-on value with them players, which then will flip what you've still seen, what we've previously done. We've brought players who aren't great, but at a good age. So I think we went for more of experience the last few years. So you're bringing in Xhakas, you're bringing in Mustafis, but there's not much sell-on value with those guys. That's why you've been on streams where I've actually got behind Edu. I feel he's done a good job. I think you look at the state of our squad at the end of this pre-season. So when we go into the new season, I think the state of our squad's going to be so much better than it has been in previous years. I look through the team. Again, we can go from back line. Leno, we're probably going to make money on when we sell him. Left back, Tierney, I feel if we was to sell him, you'd make money. Gabriel, you definitely make money. Saliba, potentially you'll make money. Pablo Mari, I think you could easily grab 30 mil for Pablo Mari now. Do you know what I mean? So that's a great profit. Guendouzi will make profit. Yeah, I think Murray would go for big money if we used to sell him. Yeah, so Guendouzi would go for profit. Willock, obviously, he's a homegrown, but he'd go for a good bit of money. Smith Rowe, Saka, you'll make good money on those guys. Martinelli, you're going to make massive profit on Martinelli. So yeah, if you look through the squad now, we're actually in a lot healthier position. I think the only one we might not make much money on would be Pepe if we was to sell him. So he'd be the only one I say we've brought in recent years. And obviously Aubameyang's age is going to go against him.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you
and
actually
I
look
think
at the squad,
he's just trying to get him as well in this sell-on value as well, because he's 29 now, isn't he? So
yeah.
you know, I think maybe a year or so back, you could have built a case for trying to break even on the 35 that we paid for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, not
Yeah.
quite at 29. You know.
Yeah. So
In this market.
yeah, sorry, with regards to your question, as I said, I feel if you then look at that, what we've been doing, it makes sense to me why we're in the position we're in. You can't build off what we've been doing in previous years. Like that's going back 10 years. You can't sustain off that unless you've got an owner who's ready to put his hand in his pocket and just, do you know what I mean, sugar daddy it up for us and do a Roman Abramovich or City where they don't care about making profit. They're just gonna put the money in. I'm just reading Nigerian's comments. Yeah, he's cost us a lot of heart and pain. We can't get them. He's cost me my hairline as well a little bit. So I'm hoping that will grow back.
Oh my! What? I think you hit a nerve with him there, man. Not surprised, to be honest. Yeah, he has cost us all those things and probably more, to be honest, since he's been here. But yeah. Bro, before KFC,
what's your thoughts on that?
One of the most. And now look at us. This is madness. Yeah, well, I mean, I have to agree with that, to be honest. You know, not investing in the squad has got us slipping down the competition slide. Now not in Europe. I think that's actually costing money. So
I think we have invested though. We just invested wrong. And I think that's part of the problem. You can't deny. Not saying we've invested much, but when you look at 35 on Xhaka, 30 on Mustafi, Walcott was 16. Like how much? 20 million at 16. We have spent money, but we just haven't spent it well. I don't think. So when you look at again someone like a Guendouzi at 7 mil, Martinelli at 6 mil, that's if you look at go back to Anelka, Armoury, that was good signings. Do you know what I mean? They had a high ceiling, so you're going to make 30, 40 million per player. Whereas recently we've been buying middle of the road players for high prices, and there's no sell on value on them. So I think that is not saying we haven't spent much compared to some, but we've just brought bad. We still spend more than your Leicesters, your West Hams, your Aston Villas, and we don't get the value for our players. Do you know what I mean? We don't. I think we haven't taken risk. You know, when we brought Vieira, it was a risk buying Vieira at that age. When we brought Anelka, no one knew Anelka. Do you know what I mean? So when you look at we be linked with players and we never Van Dijk, for instance, we never go for him. And then by the time we come around to go and get him, we let him go to Southampton or Villa or them clubs there. By the time we come to get him, we're outpriced. So we've got to strike and get these players early and take a risk sometimes on some of these younger players.
That's it.
Because we never buy the finished article, do we? So
yeah, I mean,
we can't afford to let them go to Villa, Leicester, Everton, because once they go there, we can't get them from them because we just can't afford to pay that next 50, 60, 70 million for them kind of players. So yeah, got to be more proactive.
And yeah, I think this is what I was saying about the Edouard transfer from Celtic instead of that going to Leicester. He's only got a year on his contract, 15 to 20 million. You're saving yourself the trouble of replacing Oba and Lacazette later, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you got Balogun and
Army. We don't want to say his name. I'm waiting for Nigerian to jump in the comments now.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's not good business. Not good business at all. What's going on, Mr. Fox? We see you there in the comment section. No, don't worry about it, man. Gems, the Liverpool representative. Are you happy with the scouting system not being in Europe? We'll put pressure on them now. And I think, yeah, this is the thing, you know, because Van Dijk, one that was hotly touted to come to us and that was linked with us throughout his time at Celtic. And, you know, we said that we didn't think he would be able to handle the Premier League experience. And then when we were quoted the price from Southampton, we didn't want to pay for that experience. So it's like, you know, I definitely think you got to choose one or the other. And I prefer to go for these players when they're younger and a bit more untested. So I think our scouting network has to kind of reflect that. You know what I mean? Like where they're good at unearthing and coaching youngsters. I think that's what we've got to go back to.
Yeah. I miss them days. As I said, if you go through some of that team, even that Invincibles team, there weren't many superstars before they come to Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, no one knew of Lauren. Like, even you go, Haleb wasn't a name brand player. Freddie Unibel wasn't name brand. Pires was in the French league doing okay, but wasn't established. Like, do you know what I mean? We signed players for a really good price, made them superstars and sold them on and made money. We was able to reinvest that. So we've definitely got to go back to that. Because I said, we haven't got a chairman who's ready to throw in 100, 150 mil every transfer window. So we've got to get the system right. And yeah, they are, as Jem said, they're under huge pressure, to be fair, the scouts, I think, because, again, we haven't got the money. So they've really got to dig and find some gems. And there are gems out there. And it's just taking that risk, as you said, with Celtic. Go on.
That's fine as well. That's fine as well, just so long as that's what you invest in then, because it's going to be a hell of a lot less to invest in a good scouting network and, you know, a good set of youth coaches to work with them than it is to pay for them when they're a bit more ready-made. So, you know, at least invest in that and bring the right people in there to do that.
Definitely.
We haven't done that for a while, to be honest.
No, I've missed them. Missed it. Yeah, I think the last two gems we've had, I said Martinelli and Guendouzi. And it shows it can be done. Do you know what I mean? So, evening, Lottie, by the way.
Yeah, what's going on, Lottie?
I do want touch of you in the comments on that one.
But yeah, like, so I mean, what do you think of this as well? We don't want the cool Eddie job on 20 million. Do you think that's a realistic fee we can get?
I think a bit less, but if Solanke, as I said, to me, a good loan in the Championship would, rather than sell this year, just say we grab 10 mil for him this year, that's short-sighted to me. I think give him a loan in the Championship. If he does well in it, you might then be able to raise that to 15, 20. If he doesn't do well, you might lose 5 on him. But I don't think he's as bad as everyone thinks he is, in my personal opinion. I think, I've said it all season, our strikers have suffered because we've lacked a lot of creativity, flair and skill. We sold a lot of that over the last few years. So I always go back to what I said before in a previous show. Aubameyang's a world-class striker, and he's struggling up front for Arsenal. So what do we expect Eddie Nketiah to do? Lacazette's only effective because he comes deep and gets on the ball. So actually put those two in a system which is flying. Just say he went to Liverpool, Nketiah, not saying he's going to go to Liverpool, but he might grab more goals than Origi did because he's a natural finisher and they're going to create chances. So yeah, sometimes we've got to be a bit patient with some of our players. I think we're very reactionary and we're very quick to kind of just throw away some of our young players. We've got to give them time. Some of them are like Saka and would be ready at 18, 19. Some of them might be ready at 22. And it's just about being patient sometimes.
Yeah, and I agree with that on the young player situation, especially with Willock as well, who I've been, you know, pretty defensive of, and you know, I think we still should be. I think I see a player there. You know, he scored big games, so you know, I think if I would agree with everything you had said about Nketiah, but I think if we're going to loan him out again, it should be to a Premier League club.
Yeah,
you know, like a mid-table or a club that's fighting for relegation, just to guarantee him that game time. You know, I think you know, at least test him at this level. But you know, I don't think he's bad. It's just more he's a victim of the system. You know, ultimately,
definitely,
massively. That's the system he benefits from. But yeah, Lottie's comment here. How can we get
these questions are fire, by the way. Sorry, these questions are on fire today. I'm loving it.
Yeah. You know, I like that question as well. And you know, my
Yeah,
answer is you can't. And you know, you've heard my thoughts on that. I think we should ditch it for a year or two period, and then kind of assess it again after that once we've brought the quality in that we need. Because it is costing us money as well when you think
yeah,
about it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Um, yeah. Carry on. Sorry, carry on.
no, I mean, you know, I think that's just pretty much it. You know, I don't think it's possible. I think we need to assess this, exactly how sustainable this model is.
Yeah, I think it's a longer term plan, and I think that's why Arteta's been given the time, because he's probably gone in and he has said we need to clear out all of this. We rebuild with this. Again, he has got to get Champions League this season, otherwise he is gone. But again, the budget, not even say the budget might not change next year, but actually, if we're selling, then again, rather than you're getting 15 million a player, just say we was to sell, I don't know, just say we got Basuma in and 2 years later we had to sell him, you're looking at a lot more money. Do you know what I mean? 50, 60 mil rather than losing Shaka for 15. So it is a big project. I think it's going to take a bit of time. It's not something that can be done overnight. And I do feel I get the frustrations. But as I said on the last show, Gunslingers, let's be angry at the right people and let's point the fingers at the right people. Let's not point fingers at Edu just yet. We can point fingers at Arteta for our position on the pitch,
Yep.
but if you see what he's been working with, it's been failing for a long time. We've literally had a puncture. We put a repair kit on it. It went
Yeah.
flat again. We put a repair kit on it again, and all we kept doing is repairing the wheel rather than actually changing the wheel and getting a brand new one. So we was going to break down at some stage. And
Yeah.
to be fair, it's got to get worse to get better sometimes. And I think we're moving in a better direction. So
Mm.
yeah, I think we could judge it in 2 years. We might look back and say, "Oh my God, the position Arteta left us in, saying he gets sacked. All of a sudden, we might sell a Martinelli. You might grab an 80 mil, and all of a sudden, it transforms your whole structure. Do you know what I mean? The same way Coutinho did with Liverpool. And then all of a
Mm.
sudden, now you're a force again. So, yeah, you just got to be patient.
What are your thoughts on this? Yeah. So before you answer it, yeah, throw him in with a deal with Basuma for Brighton. You know, they need something attacking wise. That must be in reference to Nketiah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
before we go into that, what I want to do, because that goes on to our next point, which was these two links that we've had with Ruben Neves and Ben White. This has been reported on Sky Sports. It's been talked about for the past few days. Before we get to Ben White, I just want to ask, like, obviously with these two midfielders again, you know, that we're continually being linked with. What are your thoughts on, you know, is it an either or situation? Both? Is there another midfield target that you think should come in? Do we even get two?
Um,
Do we just get one?
I,
What do you
I,
think?
I would like to see. I would like to see two come in. I would like the playmaker, the deep line playmaker, and I would like the the spoiler in there. Um,
Hmm.
I said I know we've got Partey, but I do think we need two. And again, it sounds like them two could be available this year. So rather than wait for next season, let's just get it done. The deep lying playmaker, I think there's a few around we can look at. So Locatelli, we spoke about earlier, Ruben
Yeah.
Neves. I've been a fan of Tillemans for years. There's a who else is in there? I can't think of my. There's a lot of players in that could do that role. So it doesn't have to be Ruben Neves for me. Um, but the Basuma one, I would just love to see us buy a player who's in the Prem and one of the top in that position. We just don't do it, and I would love for us to go out and do that. Again, you look at what Kante's doing now. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? So we
Yeah,
need
I
to
just
just be Van Dijk, Mane. Do you know what I mean? All have come from lower Premiership clubs who are ripping it up for their team and gone on to do amazing things. So for me, Basuma for me is we need to get him. And
and
again, it just shows a bit of purpose as well, don't it?
the thing is, yeah, I agree, and I don't think it necessarily needs to be Neves, but I get what you're saying about the system of having a deep line playmaker, and I don't think Basuma's just a destroyer. Do you know what I
No,
mean? I
he can
think
play. He can play.
when you watch him, you know, receive the ball in tight areas, he's very good at getting out
Yeah,
of space. Getting
yeah,
out in space. Sorry, he's very press
yeah,
resistant. You know, he's got quick feet as well. He can
mm,
drive with the
yeah,
ball. You know, I've seen him score a few decent goals from outside the box. He's got a shot on him, and you know,
He's a
obviously
great all rounder.
he can distribute the ball quite well as well. You know,
Yeah,
so he can
yeah,
do all of those things. But you know, someone like Neves or Locatelli would give you a bit more cutting edge when you're passing your balls forward.
yeah.
And
As,
I also think that would allow to play for, you know, a 4-3-3 with a deeper pivot and two like maybe box to box players or
yeah. It gives, as I said, the balance of that is a lot nicer. And
you can do
people
that
always,
all three basically. You could, you know, flip between the two. So
yeah, definitely. People to always say, "Oh, I don't know what my agenda against Xhaka is," and I'll be honest, this season he has been better. My problem for Xhaka is he's because of him, we've changed a lot of our systems. So if you look at all our attacking players that are our flair players, our deep line playmakers played next to Coquelin, you had Ramsey, Wiltshire, and Cazorla. And when you actually watch Wiltshire or Cazorla behind Ozil thrived because he was getting the ball. Do you know what I mean? Them lot were off balance the team by beating one and can play forward. Once
that's
we
it.
lost that, you saw the flair go, and our attacking football's been stale for a long time. So
You
to
just
me,
lose that
that's why I do think Neves is
midfield.
important, or someone like that who can progress the ball a lot quicker and get us playing on the front foot. So yeah, I'm excited for next season if we do get some of these players. So I just want to see something a bit fresher than what we've been. We've been stale, and that's my argument with Xhaka is he was the DM, and we've had to bring in DMs to partner our DM because he wasn't strong enough, or not saying he wasn't strong enough, but he couldn't get around the pitch. He couldn't. He's very good in the zone, but he doesn't allow you to kind of free up because he can't get around the same. So yeah, it's good times moving forward.
I think yeah, Basuma just gives you that ability to kind of win the ball, pick it up, and drive. You know, at the back line more, and then you know that sucks other players in from the
Yeah,
midfield to kind of stop him, and then that opens up space for the other players. You know, in the forward position. So
yeah,
you know, I think that's why his one in particular excites me. But then you could play him and Partey together. You know, say against one of the better teams
yeah,
with stronger attacking players, particularly in the wide areas.
yeah,
With those two behind them, or yeah, you could go with three in the center, take away a number 10, and
yeah,
then you know go with that system as well. But yeah, this
yeah,
comment here from James, getting your money's worth should equate to success you have whilst they're at your team, not the resale profit. Main thing is to avoid players leaving on a free if they weren't performing. And yeah, look, you know, we've lost a lot of players, you know, through this way. So, you know, I think it's about damage limitation. You know, with the Xhaka thing, you know what your man was saying earlier about making a loss on it. You know, it could be a further loss if you don't address it from that perspective, as Jem said. Neves is only important if he's one of four other CMs. For me, I want Basuma more. You got Willock. Yeah, look, you know, I think there is a case for Willock to be getting more games now. I do think there should be four central midfielders to rotate between. And yeah, I think Xhaka, Elneny, Guendouzi, Torreira, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I'd move on. And to basically make space for Willock and three other midfielders. That's basically what I think.
yeah.
But
These lot are killing me in the comments.
Big Rob Holding, yeah, man, like Holding. Don't forget, man. Honestly, but yeah, I think the other thing that we wanted to have a look at transfer wise were these links, and this is another player that I like quite a lot. Could be available.
Yeah.
Another leader in the squad. You know. What are your thoughts, Kelvin?
Same thing I said earlier. I think we're going to be linked with a lot of players before we actually make the jump and go and get one. Again, could be a bit of poker involved if we're looking at our or Odegaard to show them actually we have other options, bring that price down. Yeah, I'm just happy to see something fresh. Again, it's someone who's at a good age, which will probably match with the squad quite well. It's the same thing I think in England at the moment. If we look at the age of the squad, it looks nice if they play the right players. And sometimes we've got to restart. So yeah, I think it's done with trying to get in them players like the Willians, like, do you know what I mean? Shaka's. I think Partey's probably the last of the player I want to see coming at that age. And same thing we have with Aubameyang, isn't it? Where it's kind of like, who's going to buy him? So almost like, well, we got to keep him now because if we sell him, we're getting 10, 15 million. We can't, or say 15, 20. We can't do much with that. So actually, we got to keep him. And you never know what his next 2 seasons are going to be like. So yeah, Rodrigo, he looks like a player. He looks nice and sharp. New age number 10. We can get around the pitch. Haven't seen his stats, but again, for me, it's just, I think he'd be a threat. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we've lacked. We've lacked threats, haven't we?
And he can play anywhere across the front three in an attacking position as well, as well as probably a second striker. Very versatile player. Very techie, really techie. I like him, and I think that's definitely the sort of player that I want to see us linked with. And I know whether it's a poker thing, I'm not. I'll have to look at the price, but I don't think the price that's being touted is that high. Moving out the right players. If we're moving out Willian and we need to replace him, then I don't think that's too bad an option.
No, definitely not. I think, as I said, it's just nice to be the players we're getting linked with. It's, do you know what I mean? It's an improvement on what we've previously done. Like I said, I don't want to go back to some of the names we used to get linked with, but like Kalou, like even even when I was at PSG, we get linked with every year. Draxler, guys like that. Do you know what I mean? These ones are quite refreshing. It's rather than it's players who are struggling at a bigger club, and we're taking them as not a retirement home, but do you know what I mean? Taking someone who's struggling, we're actually getting players who are on the up rather than getting players that are on the slide. So yeah, it's for me it's an improvement of what we've done for a lot of years, and I'm actually quite happy with it if we go and make the right signings. But the players we're really linked with are what we need: right backs, centre mids, and number 10s, and that's what we desperately need this year.
What sort of order would you put like our transfer business in, like relative to like the positions that we need to cover? What do you think?
I think if Xhaka's going, we definitely need that centre midfielder. I think we can get a right back for a good price. So for me, that would be third choice. Just because I think the money that the players we've been looking at are all, I think, an improvement on what we got, but they're not going to cost us arm and a leg. Obviously, the Hakimi thing that's never going to happen. So the rest of the right backs we link with are all between kind of 10 to 20, which is reasonable. What we kind of pay for Tierney, isn't it? So I'm happy with that. I think the number 10 will be the expensive one, which is rightly so. You pay more money for attacking players. So I would, depending on your budget, I would say right back would be the cheapest, centre mid then, and then the number 10 is where you put your 50 mil. Do you know what I mean? If we've got that lying around. But yeah, I think centre mid and attacking mid will probably be around the same price just because we're Arsenal. But the right back will be the cheaper option.
Yeah, and I think we definitely need cover at left back, and reports are saying that they're looking at a younger profile type of player now. As you were saying to me the other day off camera, that's probably about not being in Europe anymore, not needing a big squad. Personally, I think we should have done that anyway, but I'm glad that we've done that. And look, I think Silver Fox brings up the right back situation. I think Baku is one option that we're looking at. I like the look of Baku and Selic from Lille as well. I think it should be whittled down between those two. Can we make enough from player sales to get both of them? Because Chambers, I think, is he a natural right back? And yeah, like Selic's a bit more defensive. Baku obviously gives you a lot more going forward. Baku can play in a number of other positions as well along the right channel. But yeah, I think those two right backs definitely look a step in the right direction as well.
Yeah,
Lot he
we were
brings
linked
up.
with Tyler Adams today, weren't we, as well?
Yeah, I saw that, and he can play in central midfield as well.
Yeah, and as I was
So
saying earlier, if you look at the profile of them players we're linked with, they're all at a great age. You know what I mean? It's so different to what we're used to. Again, we would normally be linked with a right back who's struggling somewhere. And do you know what I mean? It's just a stopgap. That's why that's my analogy earlier of just fixing the tire rather than replacing it. Do you know what I mean? So it's just refreshing to actually see up and coming right backs who are looking like they're going to be something special, and we're linked with them. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, in the forefront of getting some of them. So yeah, I'm happy with what we're targeting at the moment.
And what's your thoughts on this one, Gums? Very quickly, just before
Go for
we
it.
finish up. Yeah, Baku or Aaron's?
I
If
see.
you had to pick between right backs.
I haven't seen much of Baku, if I'm honest. So sorry, I just saw the comment from Silver Fox. Baku gives him nightmares. Oh dear. Hopefully we get it and right or wrong. But for me, again, it comes down to price. If the money they're talking for Aaron's is 40 mil, I'm not saying he's not worth that, but I'd rather see, as I used before, if we go and spend that on Aaron's, it might mean we go and get a cheaper centre midfielder or number 10. So actually, I'd rather the cheaper option in right backs. It's not I'm saying Baku hasn't got the quality or he's a worse player, but it's actually his age and the league he plays in probably brings down his value a little bit over Aaron's. So if Aaron's was a good price, I would get him just because he's got experience in the Prem. And obviously he's played in the Championship, which is quite a tough league. But I think Baku might be shout. But I need to just do a bit more research on him, if I'm perfectly honest. So I'll jump on Football Manager tonight and have a look.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on him? Who are you going for?
Yeah,
Because you was
I've
quite
been
excited
playing
when
with
we was linked
Lil.
with Baku.
Today, yeah. Yeah, I'm quite excited by Baku, but Selik's a good option as well. And yeah, as I was saying, on the Football Manager front, I'm managing Lil at the moment.
Yeah,
Got Selik as my right back. Yeah, and yeah, he's obviously the better option defensively. And I think
how
they're
old
both
is
around the
he?
same age.
How old
22,
Select?
23.
Ah, yeah, it's a great age.
Yeah, Selik. Yeah, he's about that age. Turkish international. So yeah, I think he could have a good tournament as well. A good
Yeah,
opportunity for us to get a look at him. Yeah, he
yeah,
definitely looks a good option as well. But yeah, no, the last thing that I wanted to speak about before we go, I didn't get a chance to make a thumbnail for Kieran Tierney. It's looking like we're negotiating a new contract with him.
yeah. And these are the things where I
Longer
said,
term.
yeah, and these are the things I'm saying about Edu and Arteta. Are they perfect? No. But it's looking a hell of a lot better than it used to. So he's probably still got 3 years left. And you know what? Let's give him another 2. Even the talk of Nketiah and Guendouzi getting extensions, there's nothing to do with footballing reasons. It's more resale value, about making sure we get the correct money for players. We can go through a list of players who walked out on a free. We've tried to hold on to Alexis. So again, that was a bad decision because he gave us 6 months more, and then we left for Mkhitaryan, who then left on a free. Whereas we could have sold him and got Mahrez in that same window, and who not saying we'd win the league with Mahrez, but we'd look a lot better with Mahrez in that team, who was proven in the Prem. We had to take a risk on Pepe then, and Pepe has looked better in recent weeks. But yeah, Mahrez for me, that would have made so much more sense. We've let go of Ozil on a free. Do you know what I mean? Just be honest, one of the best players we've seen at the club and one of the best number 10s in world football on his day. And we've let him walk out on a free. Like, it's crazy. Do you know what I mean?
They're tying down people's contracts. They're getting rid of people that they need to. They're looking a bit more proactive.
A lot more.
But let's hope that the transfers in kind of match this sort of pace. And that they're the sort that we need to get us going back to where we need to be. But yeah, I'm gonna call it time now. The Euros are going to be starting shortly, so yeah, Gums, it's good to have you on the show.
I've enjoyed it, and guys in the comments, appreciate it. The comments were brilliant today, man. It's been really, really good, really interactive show. So thank you all.
Yeah, it's been a really great show. Thanks, everyone in the comment section for showing love, asking good questions. We hope that we kept you entertained. We'll be back on Monday with more of the transfer news from the Arsenal. May look to host some special guests from other teams to talk about their business as well. Guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to like the video. It's been really good presenting this show for you today. Have a great weekend.
Hold on, have you seen Silverfox's comment? Before you go, just quickly, Silverfox asked you for a prediction from Turkey v Italy.
I think Italy are going to win that by 2-1. Yeah, I think Yilmaz will score.
I went Turkey.
You think Turkey are dark horses, you know?
I love an underdog story, don't I? I love an underdog story. So I keep predicting for the lesser teams to beat the bigger teams, but I'll get one right, and I'll act like I'm a genius when I get it right.
I think they could do it, like genuinely, but I just think Turkey, I just think Italy too, defensively, they're just strong.
No, do you know? I actually looked at it. I looked at their team. They do look strong. I think they got goals in and around it, but they haven't got a killer. If that makes sense. But across their front three, they've got goals in it. But yeah, I think Turkey might surprise them. I think more wishful thinking, and if I pull it off, then I'm going to be all over my socials giving it large. So I'll get a kebab to celebrate afterwards.
Yeah, man, I think I know a few Turks, so yeah, they'll be
lively tonight.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been good to have you on. I'm gonna get ready to watch that now. Guys, make sure you tune in next week and have a good weekend.
We are Arsenal.
Wembley Bound.
We love Arsenal.
Oh yes,
We are Arsenal.
no mercy.
We're Arsenal.